researching the sort of darkness of this subject and the kind of, there were many, many times when I thought, I can't do this, I just can't do this anymore. There's nothing here but darkness. There's nothing to, there's just nothing here that I want to proceed with. And I'd wake up in the morning and think, actually, no, I've got to carry on. And I'd go to bed thinking, no, I can't. And that would go on and on. And on one of the early visits to the town around the camps, which is called Auschwitz was a name given to the camps by the Germans, but the actual area is called Auschwitz. And I met Polish, non-Jewish, Polish people who were alive during the war, were children during the war, and were part of the Polish underground, which was called the AK Resistance. And the lady, I met a lady, she was 90 years old, and her name was Alexandra, and she was one of those partisans. And she told me that what she did, and part of the thing she did was to simply try and find food and give that food and hide that food, at obviously great danger to herself, for prisoners. Sometimes she'd leave it at night, like you see in the film, and sometimes she'd find ways of bribing a guard and getting around the back and dropping off some stuff off. She did other things as well, of course, but it was that kind of sort of sudden kind of blinding light of goodness, actually, that she seemed to represent, and I felt like with her I could continue. And she was a much larger character in script and actually in filming, but in the way I put the film together, it felt that she had a very simple function, and that became more that she needed to be more of a force, an energy, as it were, than a character. And in terms of the visual, the night, it's actually thermal. It's heat cameras. So all you're watching there, what we are seeing is heat, not light. It doesn't react to light. It just reacts to heat. And that came about through the same kind of dogma that we set ourselves, which was only natural light in the house, only practical lights in the house, but no film lights. So there's only one film light used in one scene in the entire film, and otherwise there was no lighting at all. To stick with the same dogma, we needed to, what was the scene required filming a 14-year-old Polish girl at night in a field. So I couldn't, how was I going to see her? How were we going to be able to see her in that field? We certainly couldn't start bringing in film lights specifically for that. There was no way I was going to use those lights. So really it just became, well, how do we see in the dark? How can we see something that our eyes can't? And that just led me to thermal cameras. I just thought, well, we'll use a thermal camera. And so it really begins as a tool. It's like, what's the right tool to use? And then we developed a camera, to be able to record as accurately and in as much detail as you see in the film. That to me felt like that was part of the language of the film. It didn't seem, I was determined to sort of make everything, would look at everything through a sort of 21st century eye. Keep it all live and present tense and urgent and now. So didn't feel like there was any contradiction for me in using that camera for that purpose.